All right, so this is something different. This is a fleet truck from an electrical company, and I should have took a video or a few pictures before I took the cab off. It's basically going from the service truck it was to a different type of service truck. So basically, it's being replaced. Well, let me show you. So this is one of those slide out drawers, the bed slide. So that goes into the bottom of the truck. You can grab the back. There's a handle there, and you unlock it and pull it back. As you can see, it's pretty beat up. We're gonna reuse that in a new truck, clean it up a bit. You can see they've got the big ladder rack that goes up on top of it. And I guess when they're moving electrical conduit or piping or whatever, they can put them in those tubes. So that goes up on top of a cab. So this would be what the cab looks like here. It's for an 8-foot box, and it's all aluminum. It's got extra framing for the mounts. And I've done a few of these, so we might as well do a video on one. I haven't been doing too many videos lately. So obviously it was painted the color of the truck. However, the new GMC trucks that he's buying for his fleet, 130. Anyway, whatever the color is, it's like a dark silver. So they were light silver, and we did about a year or two one of those. I don't think I did videos on it. I might have, but I'm not sure. But anyway, we're gonna have to clean up this cab and paint it the color of the truck. So these would be the two side doors. They're chipped and banged. We're gonna do just minimal body work, because if you go too crazy with the fillers, if you get anything like a tool hits them or anything like that, you don't want Bondo popping out. You'd rather live with a scratch. So they basically, I took all the stickers off, and now they're gonna have to be cleaned up and then sanded down. Gonna have to put some primer, aluminum etching primer in all the spots, because they're all aluminum. There's two doors there, and there's the hatch sitting upside down. Now this is just sitting on the ground because we took it off the truck, and it's pretty lightweight, so this is easy to pick up. I usually put this on tall jack stands and work on it the way it is. I'll probably have my two side doors on here, because that's what I've done before. I just done one last week, and I didn't have time to film anything, but there's the color. So I don't know if you'd recognize that silver color, but that's what's on the new trucks. It looks pretty good. And back there we'll set the hatch. I did get a little bit of dirt, so here we got a box of these. This box I can fill up my paint catch, all the filters for the air out. So that box, there's enough there where I can fill that twice. You know, now I could build that bigger and taller, but realistically, this is working for me. I want to leave it alone. And in here, in this skinny box, we have those filters there. And I run 6 of those on the front of my booth. The box comes in 8. At some point, we might redesign the doors so that we can actually put 8 in the doors. But the reason I did it the way I did it, I got 3 wide in the middle and all the way up to the top. It's a 10-foot booth, and what happens when I pull the booth out, the air comes in the middle, and then if you have your, like for doing full paint jobs, you'll have the air come around it, also from the top, and it pulls down. It creates a nice cross draft. Right now it's sitting at, what, 12 feet? But then there's 3 other panels. You can see the plastic hanging loose up there. So I actually pull this out. And it works pretty good. Plenty of lighting. They're all about 4 feet apart. You can see where they're stacked there because I've got the booth collapsed. But basically in the booth, when you come back to these 2 corners, the turbulence is a little weird. So you don't want to paint in those 2 corners. So as you can see, that'll be right there. That'll be right there. The cab will be out a little further so we can paint the whole thing. But right now we just got it collapsed because I'm going to drag that out there and, you know, do the body work on it before we paint it, get it all sanded and prepped. As far as body work goes, it's just a matter of feathering out the little chips and whatnot. The dings in the roof, the customer doesn't want dealt with whatsoever. It's aluminum, so it is what it is. But it's up top and you don't see it, but you do see the whole side. So we're going to go ahead and paint right over the whole thing. We're going to be using Matrix EUS, which is a single stage urethane, which should be great, because I found anytime I've used those, I find them tough. The color match is close enough. You do got to play with your air and your fan. And what I learned when I did the last one, and you know, silvers are kind of like that. Normally I'd say go by the TDS sheet, do exactly what it says. But in this case, right, so here they got 4:1:1 in a solid color, 4:1:3, so 3 reducers if it's a metallic is what it is. It's still thick, but it doesn't cover well. So I went 4:1:2, 2 and change, and it seemed to be better. And in order to pull that off, here at the gun we got 26:29. We actually had to crank that up to 31. And I mean, again, that's something you're going to have to play with depending on your gun. I use a ProTech 4500 HVLP, and usually I do exactly what a tech sheet says, and it works out nice. But this metallic, first off, didn't want to cover very well because we only primed the spots. So what I'll probably do now is I'm going to use a sealer and come up just up over the edge of the roof and stop, because we don't, like I say, if it's a little ghosty on the roof, we're not too worried. Trucks actually sit pretty high, especially the newer ones. So we'll probably come up to here, and the rest will be painted as well, but this is where we'll be really particular. And we'll probably do 2 wet coats, and then we pull back a little bit and do a bit of an orientation coat. So that, you know, silver. Watch a lot of videos and practice. That's all I'm going to say about metallic silver. A lot of metallics, once you figure them out, you feel like you're going to be good at it, especially if you're new. Now, I've always done old school cars, and somehow I managed to make it 20-some years without doing silver. Now, that being said, we did it on and off. And in the last 5 years, I've been doing it every day all the time. So, you know, you get some silver ones in the modern stuff. So far, I haven't painted an old car silver. But anyway, I did a Dodge Silver PS2, which is Dodge's silver. I find I've done it both in base coat, clear coat. I think we did one in Omni, base coat, clear coat. Yeah, she's a little windy over there, blowing stuff around. I got the door open. It's November, but it's super warm out right now. Anyway, we also did it in a single stage, and quite frankly, it covered well. And there was a lot of color with the metallic. But what I find with GM, the last silver they had and this new silver they have, and I thought this new silver would correct it because it's a little darker than what they used to have. There's like a bit of a gray to it. It's almost like see-through paint. So when you paint it on, the coverage sucks, even on the second coat. And that's why I mixed it a little bit thicker and put it on. That being said, on your last coat, you do got to crank the air up a touch and get that orientation coat. And it goes on real nice and smooth and glassy. But I did notice you get a little bit of orange peel with that orientation coat, which is okay because it kind of mimics the factory orange peel. So it kind of worked out. Anyway, we'll just keep this video short, and I'll do a couple more videos on this as I'm going. Cheers.